Hello, and welcome to an innovative episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. On today's episode, I'm excited to introduce Royce Lennox and Stephen Brown, co-inventors of the Three-Way. If you haven't heard of the Three-Way, it's a handy little paper corner that happens to fit right into your existing drywall system and possibly save up to 25% of time on your next job. Royce and Stephen have brought their product to market despite maybe some negative comments.
People can say whatever negative thing they want about it, but I understand their negativity is just from lack of experience and so on. It doesn't rattle me at all, the negatives.
Good.
A lot of times the negatives to me are opportunities to explain to other people, what's actually happening.
This month's podcasts are brought to you by Platformer Solutions. You can listen to me talk with Shane Larson about the Platformer on episode 16 of the Drywall Podcast. Don't sacrifice your life with knockoffs or 2x4s out of the dumpster. Go with the name that started it all, the Platformer. Ask your local distributor or order online at www.platformersolutions.com. In fact, if you order in the month of February and use promo code PODCAST, you can get $100 off your order. The Drywall Podcast is also brought to you by Fresco Harmony. Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. Now available in Toronto at CSR and also globally at CSR Online. I'm excited for you all to meet Royce and Steve, some of the coolest guys I've ever met on this, the 37th podcast of the Drywall Podcast. Let's get into it.
We're wearing matching clothes.
Yeah, I just got this from the Junkies.
Excellent.
Representing. I do like the white. I am kind of a white. I like white shirts. The Fresco Harmony original shirts were white, but I'm real simple when it comes to like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I generally don't even want to wear anybody's logos on my shirts.
No, me either. For the podcast, I've started wearing different things.
You have other things going on today, Nick?
I just gotta close this for a sec.
This is you can't see her. This is Josie, our producer.
Hi, Josie.
I'm not a good producer, but hey, bud, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. The connection always sucks on my end. I wish I had better connection, but you just have to bear with the delays. I feel like part of it's moving my computer around too. I can get a good spot,
Yeah, I hear you.
Josie Driver. And Josie is, how are you guys related to Josie?
She's my wife.
She's your wife. You've known her for a few years?
Oh, 30.
About or 30?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. It's about 30. Maybe
it's around 30.
Some things
around 30.
just become timeless.
I feel like, after 25, you don't have to remember anymore. You've been married long enough. We've got Stephen and Royce, Three-Way the World, on the Drywall Podcast today. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Nick. It's great to be doing a podcast with you.
Heck yeah. Stephen, tell me your last name.
Stephen Brown.
Stephen Brown. And Royce, what's your last name?
Lennox.
Lennox. I like it. And Stephen, I was reading on the website. I was just perusing the Three-Way the World website. And I was reading you have a little bit of a business and marketing background. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I have a little bit of a story. I lived in Asia for about 10 years and came back to Canada, and I really didn't know what I was going to do. And Royce, the son I was friends with, he he reached out to me and said, come over to Ontario. So about 10 years ago, Royce got me to take care of the numbers of the business, bid jobs, do payroll, and really understand the back end of the business. And timing people's jobs out is a big part of bidding jobs. So I thought I better get into the field and became an apprentice, learning how to tape, throw tape, spot nails, back cut pre-fill, and all that stuff, you know? Run boxes.
Sure, probably took you a couple weeks, right? 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, it's super fast. And the places that they were doing were almost all level 5 finish, so there was no margin of error, you know. So
yeah,
I'm still learning every day. I think everybody is, right? Be successful, you got to deliver a great finished product, be on schedule, and not eat up your tight margins with any deficiency stuff like that. And you know, some of the things you pick up, or at least you think you do, like spotting a nail, that seems pretty simple, but you can still learn how to do it better. Anyway, the 3-way corners, you know, first few that I tried, I was almost crying, and it took forever. And then Roy showed me his idea about putting in a prefabricated adjustable 3-way corner. And I thought, wow, really good idea. So we kept working on it and making it better and better and better. And that's what we ended up with right now on Mark and we thought, instead of just keeping it, start selling it to people and kind of try to help them have a better finished product.
Yeah, as you can see, Steve's a lot younger, right? So old school was always about keeping your secrets. So 3-way was my secret, because I could go from, say, in condo projects, from doing 4 condos to doing 6, because that 3-way is 25% of your labor, and it takes you.
So wait a second. Let's not get too far ahead. You were making 3-ways before, like, the 3-way came out. You were making these out of some type of paper.
Yeah, I was sitting at home, chopping it up and putting them together, you know, in my spare time at home, you know, watch TV or something.
Really?
And I thought, what the heck, it's just my time at home, you know. It's a time-consuming thing, but it was just my time at home. I wasn't worried about it. But then I take it to the job, and boom, it's just speeding up the process so much.
Yeah, but they didn't have big squares of paper tape. What were you using?
Oh, I bought different types of paper. I kept working with different types of paper to try to find one that would work. I never actually found a paper that would work when I was just making it by hand. It worked, but it didn't work. All it managed to do, which seemed to be quite a bit even then, was give you a 3-way that was just so fast to skim right into. But the 3-way we've developed now, with the right kind of paper and everything, you simply skim those 3 edges. You don't even go into the 3-way. So
we probably took about 3 years trying thousands of different kinds of paper. You know, you have regular printer paper. You get that wet, it ripples all up. Cardstock, it's too thick.
Yeah.
Tensile strength is important. Like paper tape, if you try to rip it this way, it doesn't work. You have to do this way.
Who knew paper tape? Who knew paper tape was so cool? So like cool. It's like dollars. You know, it's like a currency.
That's a very special thing as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah. You can't buy that paper tape paper. The paper they use, you can't buy that. They've got
WTF?
It's just like money. The Federal Reserve's got it all locked up.
USG. Who is our paper tape manufacturers? Who do we got?
Well, I heard USG just got bought by NAF, making NAF the biggest producer of it worldwide.
Does USG currently make all of the paper tape?
I hope I'm not getting fact checked.
No, that's okay.
It mainly comes out of factory in the States. There's some Chinese paper tape that's a little bit thinner, a little bit narrower, but that's serving North America, right? Europeans use a paper tape. It's about an inch wide, and it's kind of like a nylon.
They're kind of weird. The Europeans are kind of weird, though, right? Anyways.
Yeah, it's a fashion wall. I don't know.
So did you guys like go and tour a factory or something? I mean, it seems like an interesting thing. Like, you don't think about paper tape, drywall paper tape as this unique tape. I always just assumed it's just paper tape, right? It's made out of paper.
Yeah, it's different than the drywall. It's different than the paper on drywall. I'm not sure about that type of paper. We eventually had to kind of invent our own formula.
Spent a lot of time in
annoying.
factories over there learning how things were made.
Yeah.
And like, as you know, Nick, doing your own company and your own product, it's a lot to learn just about the labeling, what's an eye-catch design for your product,
Yeah.
how to bring it to market, and what different aspects make up paper, you know?
Yeah.
How much water they can take, their strength, and paintability, of course. It's got to, like paper tape, it has to be mudded over. It's not going to paint the same as drywall paper. So we had to match all these things up. Mm-hmm.
And it had to be paintable too, or because if you had to skim it like tape paper, you have to have it covered in mud. You can't just paint on it. It'll flash on your wall different.
Okay.
So this had to be paintable, because when you just skim it out, you're saving so much time by not having to go into the center of that three-way, and you're keeping all those nice lines by not having to put mud in.
Yeah, you don't have to pick out your corners, sand in there and stuff. That's the most time-consuming stuff, eh?
Would you say that your paper that you're using for your three-way is better than normal paper for walls? You can listen to this entire interview on platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, Podbean, and also YouTube. Tune into the Drywall Podcast every Friday for a new episode. Special thanks to Steve and Royce for being with us on the Drywall Podcast today. I really appreciate your time. Don't sacrifice your life with knockoffs or 2x4s out of the dumpster. Go with the name that started it all, The Platformer. Ask your local distributor or order online at www.platformersolutions.com. In fact, if you order in the month of February and use promo code PODCAST, you can get $100 off your order. The Drywall Podcast is also brought to you by Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. Now available in Canada at CSR, and you can also purchase Fresco Harmony globally at csr.com. Thank you so much for joining the Drywall Podcast today. Stay tuned. Next week, we will be interviewing Jake Gordon of G4 Drywall Tools and Spray Equipment out of Minnesota. Until then, keep drywalling.